I'm Becky and I'm a project manager on the railway, and I'm here this weekend to learn about the volunteering opportunities on the Bluebell Railway. Today I'll be visiting some of the people behind the scenes that do their part in keeping the railway running. How important would you say volunteers are to the Bluebell Railway?
Quite simple, really simple. If there weren't any volunteers, there wouldn't be a Bluebell Railway. It is as simple as that.
Without volunteers, you couldn't actually financially run it.
You couldn't run it, no.
Do any of your friends volunteer? Are you
Loads of my friends, most of my friends all volunteer up here. They also volunteer at other railways, but we all met here.
Volunteering here, I've been about 23 years now. Started off when I was 11 years old and never left.
If anyone was thinking of volunteering and they're thinking, I need to do some volunteering but I don't know what to do it in, what would you say to them to do if they're thinking of coming here?
It's not just, you don't just volunteer in loco. There's signals, there's station staff, there's customer services, there's working directly with the public, there's museum,
infrastructure.
Infrastructure, so, the building of the tracks, maintaining the carriage and wagon workshops.
It's a massive
loads
spectrum
of jobs.
I work as a project manager on what people at the Bluebell Railway would call the big railway. In my job, I ensure that the projects I work on run to programme and to budget. The company I work for encourages its staff to get involved in voluntary work, and many more companies are now seeing the benefits. This brings many advantages not only for the organisations that receive the voluntary help, but also the individuals undertaking it, and this is something I shall explore as part of my visit to the Bluebell Railway. I arranged to speak with my boss, Matt Bain, to discuss the benefits of encouraging his employees to undertake voluntary work.
We provide our staff with 5 charity days per year. They can use these to support any charity that they like, as long as it's registered. We see a lot of benefits, not only to the charities that we support, but also to the individual themselves.
I have a gardening business, and I started off helping out with the gardens and the grounds at Sheffield Park. And so in 2014, I started a transition to become female. And I think since then, my involvement with the railway on a volunteer basis has been to promote equality.
When I came here, I started doing some woodwork, and not long after I started, the manager that was here at the time said, have you ever considered doing upholstery? So I said no. And he said, would you? So I said, well, okay, yes, I've never done it before. And he had 2 ex-British Railways trimmers that had done it for a lifetime career. And they were here, they were in their early 80s, and they were going to retire. And he wanted somebody to teach a new person, a younger person, the skills.
Well, I've been here 14 years.
Okay.
Been here about 10 now.
So when did you start? When you were quite young, I assume?
Yeah, roughly it was about 9, and then carried on ever since. So I did 9F Club from 9 till 16, and then 16 onwards was on the roster with everyone else out in the local yard.
So where do you guys volunteer now? Where do you spend most of your time when you're here?
Most of the time on the engines around the yard, so we do all the cleaning jobs, all the clean duties, and then on the footplate helping run trains up and down the line.
Did you try loads of different jobs beforehand, and then you sort of set yourself on this, like on where you are now in the workshop and on cleaning and everything, or have you chosen just to do cleaning and you just liked it so much?
Just sort of got stuck here, really, didn't we?
Stuck here.
Started when you was 9.
How many years did it take? Years or months to work yourself up from cleaner to fireman to driver?
About 8 to 10 years.
8 to 10 years?
Driver, yeah.
So how long have all you lot been doing it for then, volunteering?
I've been doing it since I was born.
Since you were born?
I was born into it, yeah. Mum and Dad live at Horsley Cane Station.
Okay.
Which is obviously where I lived. And Mum and Dad are both drivers as well. So I've been doing it since I could walk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You started at cleaner when you were like 2 years old?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
When it was legal.
Even at smoke box?
I think the first day I was firing was when I was 4.
Wow.
There was someone else there, but I kept nicking the shovel apparently.
There is a disgustingly cute picture of him in the museum.
Oh god.
Age about 4.
You've even made it to the museum?
Yeah, he's in the museum, so old.
Part of the furniture.
How long have you been working here then for?
Working, we're volunteering. I think I've been on the cleaners roster just over a year. So I've been doing that for a year, just over. But I'm working at the railway a bit longer.
Is your dream to be a driver in the end?
It's an expectation.
Do you reckon it would help young people to have a volunteering at the Bluebell Railway on their CVs?
I think so, yes, because it means that you've shown the initiative to actually want to do something like that. You want to learn new skills. You've got an inquiring mind to want to actually achieve more.
Yeah.
Some of these skills could actually work later on in their careers in their favour. I mean, who knows? You could start up your own business.
Yeah, I suppose you could actually.
In fact,
that way.
Jean and 2 of the other colleagues have done just that, haven't you, Jean?
So have you started up your own business from working the skills that you've learnt here?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
And we're taking on commissions from other people outside the Bluebell to cover.
Is that other heritage railways?
Heritage railways, also vintage car seats, things like that. So they're
Domestic,
kind
some
of related,
domestic
and
chairs.
some domestic. Yeah.
How long have you been on there for?
I've been there 7 years now.
7 years?
Yeah.
So nearly up to the 8 of being a driver then. You said about 8 years to be a driver.
8 to 10.
It's not automatic. It doesn't
No,
It doesn't work that way.
I've started.
You don't get to the day and it goes click, box ticks, he's ready.
Yeah, I think there's some cleaners that have been there for 20 years and there.
Yeah, I know,
Every day's their first day.
Yeah.
So we learnt yesterday that there's a bit of hierarchy with you start off as a cleaner and then go to fireman and then to driver. Is that what you guys want to do, or are you happy in the workshop?
Yeah, so we're on the bottom run of the ladder at the moment as cleaners, and then slowly working our way up through the ranks. So.
And then you'll be a driver in the end.
How would years time.
That'll be another 14 years.
Depends a lot on how much time you put in.
Yes.
There's no substitute for experience. Doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
The more time you put in, the more experience you gain.
It's like when you first learn to drive a car.
Yeah.
It's how many lessons you have. If you have one a week or once a month,
Yeah.
the more you do, the better you're going to get and the quicker you're going to pass. It's the same.
So I put in availability or whatever, and I get rostered into cleaning turns. But the footplate cleaning turns, I've got 2 in the 3-month period. So I'm only getting onto the engine twice.
Yeah.
And so you do that, and then maybe you know, it's a little while before you go back on again. You don't retain the information, a lot of the information.
I see, to keep on doing it.
You know, it's like anything. If you learn anything, the more often you do it, the more regularly you can come, the quicker you're going to learn. That's it. Simple as. You retain better. I know this because I'm the educationalist of the railway.
I think initially the big stumbling block that I had when I first came here as Joanne was that a lot of the volunteers are of the older generation and they didn't understand. They had a problem perhaps accepting that diversity exists, that somebody could do what I've done.
Yeah.
So the only way for me to get around that was to keep talking to them, keep coming up and keep talking.
To say
keep
that nothing much has changed about you.
Explaining it. You know, I'm still the same person.
Definitely.
I still have the same character. I still have the same personality. I just look different.
Yeah.
And I actually I'm physically different as well because I'm now legally female as well. But once that understanding has been raised to them, you know how you should treat everybody equally. It doesn't matter who they are, and it's not just about LGBT. It could be race. It could be ethnicity. You know, everybody has a right, a human right, a basic human right to be treated with dignity and respect, and that's the way the railway is now moving.
What would you say if someone's thinking about volunteering? What would you say to them?
Oh, I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer. Because we're talking really sort of thing about getting younger people into the railway, but at the same time, we actually look for people sort of who perhaps come to the end of their working life and who want to carry on doing things, because I found when I retired, I missed the company, the camaraderie.
We tend to find we get a lot of volunteers, they already know about the railway in some way or another, and then they might look through, look at the website, and there's a section on the website about volunteering. And what people can do is they can come to a monthly Find Out More day.
Okay.
So they pitch up at the railway, it gives you information on the website, and they get taken around to different departments and shown what they could volunteer doing, just so they can see a little bit behind the scenes. And then if they want to do it, they become members, and their information is given to the managers of that department, and they sign up, basically.
So Sheena, how long have you been volunteering on the Bluebell Railway for?
36 years. I started off at Kingscote Station before it was opened, and I learnt a lot of my woodwork skills up there, just making picnic benches and things. And when Kingscote opened to the public, a few of us moved down here to restore a carriage which had been sitting around for quite some time outside, Victorian carriage.
If you had to sum up your voluntary work here in 3 words, what words would you use?
I would say it's achievement, fulfilment and comradeship.
I would think friendship, appreciation of what you've done.
Yeah.
And enjoying training.
Yeah. So I think it's especially on this case, it's a whole new skill, isn't it? What do you like the most about volunteering at Bluebell Railway?
I think it's the sense of achievement you get. I like doing things that are quite challenging, like the Stroudy carriage I'm working on. It's not very easy, it's quite challenging.
Yeah.
And actually overcoming those difficulties and working out how to do things, it's really good. And once, of course, you've finished it, it's amazing, really.
Yeah.
The sense of achievement is terrific.
That's similar to what Steve and Jean were talking about earlier on with the seat trimming that they're doing, like a big sense of achievement when it's completed.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Is that sort of a key thing with everything that you do here?
I think it is, yes. I think a lot of it's lovely seeing the other volunteers when they get to the stage where they can really sort of do good stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing them sort of really pleased that they've managed to do something and make something, and it's really good. It's lovely.
If you had to say anything to anyone that was thinking of joining the railway that might be either in transition or part of any community, what would you say to them?
I would say go for it. It's a very friendly organisation to work for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rewards.
Yeah.
For me, I volunteer at the railway because it's nostalgic for me. When I was growing up as a child, these trains were running all the time, and I used to go and stand on a local railway bridge and just watch them going underneath, just get a face full of soot and steam.
If you're willing to put the hours in and put the time in and the effort, and the organisation you're volunteering for is willing to give you the training and the patience that's needed to see you through that phase, you could finish up, as in my case, teaching other people to do it and producing stuff like this.
Yes, we get different teams of people working on different projects, and then we all get together for lunch or whatever, and it's very nice, very friendly atmosphere.
It was really good to go behind the scenes a little today and meet some of the people that never really get noticed by the public. They're all doing stuff in slightly different ways. For instance, Joanne is volunteering to educate everyone at the Bluebell Railway on diversity and inclusion. It's her aim to ensure that everyone is welcome and attract a more diverse volunteering force. The 2 brothers, Matthew and Steve, joined the 9F Club and have never left. The 9F Club allows young people to undertake hands-on activities to learn the reality of what it takes to run a preserved railway. They have ambitions, but they are equally happy to just be here and make a difference. Sheena has been here 36 years and manages major restorations. She loves the carpentry side of the railway. Then there's Steve and Jean, who have both learnt skills by being here. Jean has even been able to transfer those skills into her own business, away from the railway. Next time, you're going to meet up with some of the station staff and a signalman at Sheffield Park.